Welcome to my channel. American Airlines Flight 383. A big thank you to my viewer for suggesting today's content. Apologies for this content taking so long to put up. American Airlines Flight 383 was a scheduled passenger flight from Chicago O'Hare International Airport, en route to Miami International Airport. The captain that day on board American Airlines Flight 383 was Anthony Paul Kochenish, aged 61. He had flown with American Airlines since 2001. Everything was going well on October 28, 2016. At 14:30, the flight was cleared to take off. The aircraft commenced its takeoff, but at 14:31 the first officer could be heard on the cockpit voice recorder saying 80 knots. However, just 11 seconds later, the cockpit voice recorder picked up a loud noise. The aircraft is then said to have veered right and the captain rejected the takeoff. The control tower was radioed, where the controller noticed an engine failure, and tried to tell the crew the aircraft was on fire. The fire was reported as coming from the right wing. Fire trucks were quickly ordered to attend the aircraft, and the right engine was shut off. The captain then called for the evacuation checklist, but the flight attendants had already got this into place before getting this order. The left engine was quickly shut down, and the evacuation order was given, and the alarm sounded. Everyone on board were evacuated. However, 21 people were injured during the evacuation. The right side of the fuselage had considerable fire damage, and the right wing then collapsed. A whole loss would be declared of the aircraft and it was written off. The National Transportation Safety Board were brought in to investigate what had happened to the aircraft. In 2018, the National Transportation Safety Board would issue its final report into the incident. It had traced the origin of the fire to a failure in Disc 2, which they called a discrete dirty white spot. It was their judgment that this would have been undetectable at the time of manufacture, and that it would have been undetectable on further inspections. They found that the disc had separated into two pieces, with one piece damaging the wing's fuel tank. It is believed that this piece then flew through the roof of a United Parcel Services building, but without any injury to anyone inside. The National Transportation Safety Board would go on to make several recommendations, which included issues that had come from the evacuation of the aircraft that day. Dynamic Airways Flight 405. Dynamic Airways Flight 405 was a scheduled passenger flight from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, en route to Caracas, Venezuela. It was on October 29, 2015, when the aircraft began taxiing for departure, when a fire would break out. It is believed that the aircraft was leaking fuel shortly before it then caught fire. This is according to the pilots of other aircraft when followed Flight 405. The order was given to evacuate the aircraft. All passengers and crew were evacuated from the aircraft. However, 22 people were taken to hospital for injuries during this incident, including one man who suffered injuries after falling from the evacuation slide. However, it is believed that none of these injuries were the result of burns. The National Transportation Safety Board were brought in to investigate the fire. They found that the main fuel supply line coupling assembly had disconnected in the wing to the engine strut above and behind the left engine. The fire had then penetrated the fuselage. They, however, did condemn some of the passengers for trying to take their luggage during the evacuation of the aircraft. The National Transportation Safety Board's final report concluded that the failure of the main fuel line coupling assembly was the failure of maintenance personnel to install the required safety lock wire. The crew were also criticized for initiating the emergency evacuation, while it is reported that the right engine was still running. Luckily, in both these aircraft fires, no fatalities were reported. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel to view other content.